Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Unfiltered No Chaser.
No
How are you
chase.
all doing this evening? This evening is it? Please, excuse my appearance right now. I ain't do my eyebrows, but I've been busy researching some stuff. So, welcome back to another week. I see you made it back to see us at the same time, same place. And we're gonna start it off with Erskine. Now I want to go
Hey,
first. I want
everybody,
to go first today. I want to go first. I want to go
you go
first.
first. Teacher. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I want to introduce, first of all, this your boy Erskine checking in. But before I give y'all all my stuff, I want to pass the mic over to my wonderful friend Teacher and let her introduce herself because tonight we got a lot of good news to share. We got a lot of good news to talk about, and I'm going to let her go first.
In the
Hi,
midst of my coughing, hi Erskine.
Hi, Nitra.
Hello. How are you this
I'm
evening?
good,
You
Queen.
see my new glasses?
You look amazing, darling. You look amazing.
My new glasses. They have my eyebrows when I don't do them, so I'm voguing them right now.
You look good.
But anyway, I am Nitra P. I am living in the DMV. I am a jack of all trade, the master of some. Let me turn down this radio because I got escape going on in the background that I cannot pay because I paid them for listening to over 30 seconds. But anyway, I'm Nitra P, master, a jack of all trades, the master of some. I work for the Department of None of Your Business. I am an entrepreneur by heart. I have generational children. If you don't know what generational children are children that was born in separate decades. So my oldest two is 25 and 22, and my youngest baby is 14. And I also have a grandkiss that I affectionately call grandkiss instead of grandchild. He is 22. No, he's 23 months. He'll be 2 years old next month. Um, so I got a lot going on. I got this new business venture that I'm about to embark on, and I can't let y'all know what it is just yet. But I'm very very excited about it. Um, and so I'm going to kick it over to Erskine because right now I am about to cough.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Erskine Alexander checking in from New York. New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. My name is Erskine Alexander. I am a mental health clinician here in New York City. New York City, and I'm also an actor as well. For those that tuned in, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before last, you saw me in the For Life, ABC For Life, directed and produced by Mr. Curtis Vincent Jackson in that film. So the prisoners we got out. So anyway, I'm an actor and I'm a mental health clinician, and I'm a proud husband and I'm a proud father. Tonight, my daughter Amira got her black belt in karate. So I'm a little tipsy. I'm a little excited. I'm in daddy celebration mode right now because it says a lot for our children, not even our children, but just our young adults as people who have had to endure the challenges of anything, whether it's school or extracurricular activities. So to graduate, to meet the accomplishments or whatever it is and that you're doing, and to get past that in 2020, coming into 2021, that's more than enough reasons to celebrate. So my daughter tonight obtained her black belt in karate. Yes. I'm a proud dad. Also, big shout out to my girl Camille Boyd Gilmore for this awesome hoodie, Stun Apparel. Yes, yes, my girl Camille keeps me laced with the gear. So big shout out to Camille Boyd Gilmore, stunapparel.com down in Atlanta, Georgia. Big shout out to my boy justdoesit.com down in the DMV. He's down in Nitra's area. So anyway, just we thank you guys so much for tuning in on Saturday nights just to hang out with us and just to talk, because I think everybody needs someone to talk to, and we all need some fun. We all need some entertainment. And right about now, we going to have us a good old time. So, again, Erskine Alexander, I am a mental health clinician. I am a psychotherapist, social worker, and I've been in the business for over 20 years. 20 years. So, I'm thankful for my position, and I'm thankful for all the blessings that God has given me and allowed me to in this lifetime. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just get to it. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna have some fun. Like I said, I feel great, y'all. I've been celebrating and just so proud of my daughter because just like her, just like the other kids, it has been a challenge with schoolwork. It has been a challenge with just adjusting to life throughout this whole COVID process. And my daughter is a seventh grader. And I remember how I was in seventh grade when you want to stunt and walk in school with your gear on and and not being able to do that. That's been a challenge for anybody, for all of our children. So let's continue to keep our kids lifted up in prayer. I don't think none of our children has to go to Zoom call or Zoom schooling and all this remote learning and all that kind of stuff. I strongly believe in peer interaction because peer interaction helps you communicate a little bit better.
That's because you're a social butterfly.
I, I'm a social butterfly. I think that works best. But anyway,
I'm an introverted extrovert.
Nietzsche knows good and well. I'm gonna tell y'all about my girl Nietzsche. Nietzsche has been my friend since the ninth grade. She's been my buddy since the ninth grade. We graduated from high school together. And Nietzsche knows doggone well.
I'm
I
an
always look
introverted
for.
extrovert.
She's an introverted, extrovert person, but you know what? I always look forward to seeing her at band practice. These kids can't do that. I'm just
I'm
telling the
not
truth.
messing with you
I'm just
tonight.
telling the
I'm
truth.
not messing with you
Like,
tonight, Mr.
you know,
Alexander.
when Nietzsche was a major, she was a color guard. She was a color guard in the band.
Before y'all get started, our color guard uniforms look like majorette uniforms. Let's
Yes, they
just put
did.
it
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So what I'm saying is, it's an excitement. It's an excitement to go to band practice to see my girl Nietzsche Graham in her little outfit. That is the reason
I'm
why I
not
quit the
fooling with you
football team.
tonight.
I quit the football team to join the band.
That is
Shout
not
out to
why you
Mexico.
quit the football team.
Right. No, I really did. Me and Samara. Yeah, no, I really did. No, seriously, seriously. No, no, no.
I
I
can't with you. I
no,
cannot with you.
for the people that remember like G Man and for fall 19,
Shout out to Kevin Edmondson.
Kevin Evans, for those who remember in 1991, our freshman year, I
Hey,
played
hey, don't be
football.
throwing years out there.
Huh? Oh,
Don't
sorry.
be throwing years out
But
there.
yeah, my freshman year, I played football for Carver High School until I bumped into the majorettes. Severick Johnson, if you're watching, he remembers he was right with me. We were on the football team,
Hey,
and we
let's jump
bumped into
into tonight's
the
show.
bumped into the. We're gonna go into that, but I just want you to know that there's no way in the world, I would have been comfortable doing this Zoom learning and remote learning, and you walking around in the majorette out. Don't
that,
get mad at
that,
me.
that was
Tell the
that was
truth.
the slimmer and smaller Nitra.
It don't matter. Still had eyes.
I cannot with
I'm
you.
just telling it like it is. So anyway, y'all, I'm just very very happy tonight and proud of my daughter and proud of all of our young people. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get on into it tonight. We're gonna get into it tonight. I'm in celebration mode. Um, I'm looking forward to getting to the business of the show tonight, Nietzsche. Let's go, girl. Let's get it.
All
So
right.
what's on your mind? Let's talk about it.
All right. So, last week we talked about playing house. Okay.
Yes.
So let's just say that we are playing house, or let's not say we're playing house. Let's say we went ahead and got married.
Okay.
Okay. No, pause. Let's bring it back to we still boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
All right. So, boyfriend and girlfriend, we living in the same house. We start procreating. Your mama calls you over every weekend to come and do something at the house when she got her own man sitting in the house. What you
Ooh,
gonna do, Erskine?
this is
What
deep.
you gonna do? That is a good ass question. What you gonna do?
Well,
Go ahead.
well, you
Now
know what?
we're not married yet. We're not married.
Uh-oh, my mic keep cutting. Thank you, Renee. She said my mic keep cutting in and out. Can you guys hear me okay? Hold on. I want to always make sure my viewers can hear me. So Renee, I know you said my mic was cutting in and out. Please, Renee, you can respond back and just let me know that you can hear me real good.
You are still cutting out.
I'm cutting out. I don't know if I need to sit closer.
See,
Can you hear me?
now you sound good.
Okay, I'm not going to move muscle there. Let me put the pillow behind my back.
So what you gonna do?
That's that's that's
We
that's
we we got plans.
we got plans. So she got to figure it out. She got to figure it out. It's easy for me to make the assessment because I live in New York and my mom stays in
No,
Georgia.
no, no. We in the same city, same state.
Mom got to figure it out. Unless it's a diehard emergency, she got a man. You better figure it out.
Okay, let's say Mama don't have a man, but every time Mama call you,
Ooh, so now we're talking like a mama's boy type
hey,
situation.
I'm not saying Mama's boy, but me and you in a whole relationship. Not really, because Sabrina would probably kill me, and I hate to shoot her for trying to kill
Role
me.
play. We doing role playing. We role playing. That's what it's all about. We role
So
playing.
we're in a relationship, and Mama Donna is calling.
Okay, mama calling.
Yeah.
Unless the house is burning down, unless it's a situation that has to be fixed right then and there, we would have to put it on pause.
What, our date or Mama calling?
Mama calling.
Okay.
That would be the right thing to do. But for some men, that is an extreme challenge. That's an extreme challenge because they will say in a minute, I got one mother, I can always get another wife.
Exactly. So I have a friend that actually thinks that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Or should I say thought that way.
Okay.
Now, as a girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
as a girlfriend, I would just be like, okay, well, how long do you think it's gonna take? Unless it's a redundant thing, like she just a habitual, I need you to come over. If that makes sense. So, what do you think the line should be drawn at?
If it's a 911 situation, you have to make it a 911 situation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys have a problem with that, and it's a struggle. I get it. Guys, your mother is who brought you in this world. Your mother is the one that laid up for 9 months to carry her belly and the whole time. But also, your mother will want you to have a stable relationship. Your mother.
What if she don't like me?
What if she don't like you? We got to figure it out because it's about my. You're right. It happens.
And like these are real world
I,
situations.
I thank God every day that my mama likes my wife. I'm saying that to all of our
Ooh,
viewers.
look what Renee said. I have directed my son, when he marries, he takes a vow to forsake all others. He will have to set boundaries in order to keep a healthy relationship with his spouse. That is so true, and we ain't even got onto the spouse's part.
We ain't got onto that yet.
But I totally agree with Renee. I didn't have that issue within my household, but I had already set that boundary with my husband that that your household come first. So this is just me. Once you become married, your immediate family dynamic changes. It's no longer you, your dad, your mom, and maybe some siblings. Right. Once you become married, your immediate family becomes you, your wife, and your children if you have any children. Okay? When the doctors call for immediate family, that is who they're looking for. They're not looking for your mama. She next to kin. At this point, she's seriously, she's next to kin, and people
No, you're not lying. You're not lying.
Don't understand that.
No, the reality is this. I've always said, if I get knocked out of the street, they're not going to call my mother. They're going to call my wife. That's reality. My wife is she's on my insurance. She's the one that's part of my policy. She's the one that, God forbid, something happens, they going to call her first. That's just what it is. That's the purpose of having a wife. But you do have some guys that pride themselves on saying that, well, I wouldn't be here and you wouldn't like the man that I am if it wasn't for my mama.
Yeah, but at some point that umbilical cord needs to be cut off. Now don't get me wrong, as a spouse, I would never tell you to technically forsake your mother. I mean, because I get what I totally get what Renee's saying. She's not saying like to hell with your mom. She's just saying your mom is not the first person anymore. As your spouse, you are. So do you remember the it kind of went viral. the the clip that was with the young lady, it was her car. Her, I think it was her boyfriend, maybe her husband was the driver of the car, but Mama was sitting in the front seat, and he was telling her, "My mama sits in the front seat. You got to sit in the back seat." But it was her car. You didn't see that?
I
Did
didn't.
anybody that's listening to us right now? Did anybody
That's
see
good.
that? Did anybody see that? Because me personally, and I think honestly, it depends on relationship.
Yeah.
Honestly, because if your mom was an asshole, which Mama Donna is not, if she was an asshole, and
Lord.
you try to put me in the backseat of my car, both of y'all walking, and hope, yeah, both of y'all walking. Now, being that I love Mama Donna, I'll be like, all right, I'm sitting in the back seat, or maybe you're going to sit in the back seat.
I was sitting in the
But
back
I
seat.
wouldn't have I wouldn't have a problem sitting in the back seat. But I think again, it depends on the relationship that you have with your significant other's parent.
Yeah, I mean, right. I thank God I have a mother. My
Renee
mother is
saw
one.
it. I'm sorry, keep talking.
Renee and his mama was cussing at.
Yeah, she was like the mom was. I think it would happen in New Orleans.
Well, see now,
The
now, now,
girl,
Renee.
the mother was like tearing her butt up in cuss words. She was
Now,
like
now,
cussing
now
her
we go,
out.
but see, now we're going to a different place. Now we're going to
Well, no, no,
mommy
because we're
wants to
talking
know.
about lane. No, the topic is relationship. The lanes, the positions. Where do I fall? We're on topic.
Okay, now if mama is cussing the girl out, that's just a little disrespectful.
It's a lot disrespectful,
You know what I'm
especially if
saying?
I'm not talking to you, but I'm telling you as my man. Hey,
That's a whole nother situation right there. I don't. That's where the guy has to step. Excuse me. The guy has to step in and say, "Listen, mom, this is still my woman or my wife. You got to respect where I'm at." And it hurts. I get it. It might be a challenge, but you got to respect your home. Because at the end of the day, you see your mama, you go home, your teenager. You go home, you got to think about the fact that that's still your wife. Um, I get it. I get it. It's one of the hardest things in the world as a son when you see your mother going through a tough situation. You want to be there for her at all
yeah,
times. Get to the mother not respecting the relationship, and she raises something. You're right. I agree. Because at the end of the day, you still have to respect your spouse, your wife. She comes, she comes first. That's just what it is. However, however, a good mother, and I'm proud to say I have a great mother.
you
Great
do,
mother. Hey, mom.
you do.
My mom would say, "Listen, you need to straighten that out, with your wife." Uh, but it does make a difference when your mother likes your wife.
Oh, absolutely. It makes a huge difference
Makes a
because
huge difference when your mama likes your wife.
when your mom doesn't like your wife, that is a level above baby mama drama.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
that's a
opinion.
whole nother level.
That's my opinion because here's the reality. You can get away from your baby mother or your baby father.
Yes, that's
You
right.
can get away from them. You can cut ties. Hey, the child has a cell phone, and in this day and time, the child has a cell phone. Hey, you want to talk to Christian? Call her on her phone. I mean, thank God I don't have those issues, but you understand what I'm saying? You can cut
Right.
ties. You gotta see your mama. I mean, you don't have to see your mama because you can cut your mama off too. But
No, right.
in a normal relationship, nobody's really cutting their mom off unless
No, no,
their
no.
mom is like horrifically
Yeah, yeah.
disrespectful.
The thing is with me, and I get it. I'm a man. I love my mother. I would not be the man that these viewers see tonight on this show if it wasn't for my mom. So I stand
Right.
firmly on that ground. But it definitely makes a difference when you live where you live and your mother lives where she lives. And God
Hmm.
forbid if there's an emergency or something like that, thank God for Delta Airlines.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
I was
also
just saying, but
brings.
but 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 for the guys that do live in the same city, because everybody's not in that same space. For the guys that do live in the same city or they live close to their mother in that same area, you just have to find a balance. My mom would want my marriage to work. My mom would
Yeah.
not want my marriage to fail. My mom would definitely support anyone that's taking care of her son.
Right.
Not exactly the way she did, but definitely on the same lines.
Right. Right.
So no, my mom is going to wholeheartedly respect that because if I lose that, then my life is in a whole different, it's in a whole different space. So you got to look at it from that point.
Right.
So
Yes.
good mom
I
was,
mean,
listen, son, I'm going to handle this because I don't want to bother you. I don't want to annoy you. I don't want to get on your nerves. I don't want to be all in your mix or whatever. So that's what some mothers do. But then you got some mothers that don't like the wives that the sons marry. It happens, you know.
that is true.
And sadly, there are mothers out there who thinks no one is good enough for their son, and that's very true, Renee. I totally agree with you. But
And
at
and,
the end
and
of the day, it
it's,
goes down to
what's even sadder is when their son ain't worth shit anyway, and they think that nobody's they think that nobody is worthy of their son's love and affection. It's like your son ain't shit, you ain't shit, your dog ain't shit. Y'all seen that TikTok? Anyway, but I mean, but I have friends that excuse me that have said, well, I don't care if his mom like me or not because I ain't married to her. I'm married to him.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's
That's very
good.
true.
That's good for that moment in time, like that moment in time. But when you start having family functions and holidays,
Yeah,
and you know,
things where they got to actually
where
come
you
together.
actually gotta like, people can tell whether or not you and your mother-in-law get along or not.
Yeah.
They
Oh
really
yeah.
can tell. And I just personally think that you should get along. And I'm not saying ass kiss or whatever, but I think the mother and the mother, I'm speaking as a female. You and the mother should get along. Hell, my ex husband's father was dead, and my mother in law, we had the same birthday. We had the
Oh
same birthday.
wow. They had the same
Yeah,
birthday.
the same birthday, honey. And yeah, and I would say to him, I would like, I wish your dad was still living. Not that something was wrong with his mom, but because I heard nothing but amazing things about his dad. Like, I have yet to hear something negative about his dad. You know, so I will always say, I wish your dad was still living. But so, how would you feel if you was in a predicament where the dad didn't like you?
Oh, yeah,
Because
same thing.
I know you flew to North Carolina and asked for the blessing. So
Yeah.
how would you feel if he said, "You ain't good enough for my daughter"?
Well, it's my job to show you.
Would you?
First of all, I will quit that. Now we get into a man-to-man situation.
Yeah.
First of all, what makes you feel that way? That's one. Let's talk man to man about it. And I respect what you're saying, but let's talk man to man about it.
Yeah.
Now, if I get to throwing credentials at him, then if I throw my credentials at him, and not everybody can do that, but if I start throwing my credentials in what I do, and you say I'm not good enough for your daughter, then you just don't like me.
Okay. When you say credentials, let's break this down.
Right.
Are you saying credentials as into your potential, or you're saying credentials as to I went to a HBCU, I went to a Ivy League school, I am a clinical clinician, I have two jobs. Are you saying those type of credentials, or how
I'm
you
saying,
are as a man?
well,
I'm
well,
loving. I
yeah.
don't want her to change me. I want to love her for what she. I want us to be like. What kind of credentials
Am I throwing at him?
are you
I'm throwing.
throwing?
I'm throwing both.
And the reason I ask that, because some people think their status
Yeah,
of everything that they have achieved is their credentials, but some people don't have those type credentials.
and
So
that's right.
that's why I was asking you to break it down.
Right.
What do
Okay,
you mean
right.
by credentials?
Right. So what I mean by that is that in some cases you can say, well, listen, I went to this, that, and this is what I'm doing right now. So I'm showing you up front that I am capable of taking care of your daughter, hands down, right now at this point. Now I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what kind of trials and tribulations we may have, but as of right now, I am capable of taking care of your daughter. And if your daughter is the wife that I would like for her to be, that we're going to win together. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if you don't like me as a person, tell me why you don't like me as a person. We can
Oh,
take.
well, Erskine, I don't like you because you you seem like you're over hyper. My daughter's really reserved and quiet. You seem that you got to be flashy and out there in the public eye. My
Okay.
daughter prefers a good book to sit at home with. You seem
Okay.
like you want to be a clubber. My daughter, just rather stay home and look at cooking shows.
Okay.
How is that going to actually
Yeah,
work when y'all are totally opposite types of people?
I would say opposites attract. That's one.
Good
And
answer, because I was hoping you said that. Because you
I
need
would,
that balance. You need
you
that
need that balance. You need
balance.
that balance. I mean, and for me, I have no problem using myself as an example. You know, I by the time I made the decision that I wanted to get married, I had clubbed, I had partied, I had around. I went to a college where classes were canceled for the treatment in Atlanta. You know what I mean? So that lifestyle I had already lived, and then coming to New York City and just having a good time in New York. By the time I met my wife, we were dating. And granted, she's not somebody that's popping bottles and turning up in the club, but we've done that together as a compromise. I've done the laying up on the beach and being in a quiet area as a compromise. So I'm willing to do whatever it is I have to do to make her happy and keep her happy. And that would be my statement. That was my statement. I actually took a trip to South Carolina to visit my in-laws, and I took the trip by myself to get their blessing before I proposed to my wife. And I wanted them to see me. I wanted that time to be for them to look at me through their own lens and not with my wife being there. I wanted them to see me, ask me whatever questions you want to ask me. I want you to see me for the person that I am without her being here on that trip. So, yeah, they had never seen nothing like that before. And to be quite frankly honest with you, I don't think a lot of guys do that. Some kids do that. But I know what my mom went through with marriage. I know what my dad went through with marriage. And I just wanted to let them know that I was very serious. Because as men, when we make up in our mind to get married, that's a big step for us. That's a
Is
huge
it? Why?
yeah. God, yes. Huh?
Why?
Because you're
Here come
committed.
Tracy with the bullshit.
What Tracy talking about? What Tracy talking
I
about?
swear, she
Well,
is a devil advocate for you. But she
I
be
love Tracy.
serious though. She said
Tracy,
credentials do not make you a
no,
good
they don't.
man or good woman for
No, it
anyone.
doesn't.
If
You're
you
right.
have been an Ivy League graduate and still treat somebody like
That's
anybody's
true. That's
kid,
true. No, no, no. What
child
I'm
like
saying,
crap.
what
That
I'm
is
saying,
absolutely true.
that's
So
true.
that's why I was trying to get to the root of what does he actually mean by his credentials? Like,
Right. No, I'm talking the whole body of work. I'm talking about the whole body of work. I'm basically letting you're right. You can throw the credentials. Credentials don't mean nothing. That means you just know how to read a book and you know how to apply what you read in the book. That's all that means. But what I mean by credentials, and I'm talking about the whole body. I'm talking about the whole body. I'm talking about personality. I'm letting it be known that I do have a career, that I am capable of being able to take care of your daughter. That's what I mean by that point. So I should have clarified that a little bit better. But credentials, yes, credentials, you can have a master's degree and 30 letters running behind your name, or a PhD with 30 letters running behind your name. But it all depends on your character. It all depends on your personality, but it also, with the credentialing part, lets it be known to the father that I can take care of your daughter. I'm in a position to take care of your daughter. I can do that.
I beg the difference. You can have them same credentials. I'm being Tracy right now, but
Okay,
shit, fuck that. I'm devil's advocate all the time.
but I'm just saying, but you
You
understand
can't
what I'm
have
saying.
all of those letters and credentials at your. I can't even talk. You can have all those credentials and letters behind your man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does not mean that you can take care of her because guess what?
What?
Your lazy ass might not want to work.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. Hey,
You
she
may
might be the
not
one
want
that
to
got the
work.
good job. She might be the one that
Exactly.
got the job. But you know what, though? That's right. But that will be up for her. I'm just letting you know
That
that
I
I
got the potential to take care of her. should I should I get a job where I can use those letters? Because you can still have a job and have all those letters.
I could get a job at Morgan Stanley and work it for 2 weeks,
Exactly.
and I can quit after 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So it doesn't mean anything with credentials. That means just I can get these high powered jobs, and I can quit after 2 weeks. So I totally agree with you,
You
Tracy.
know, me and Tracy had to mess with you. You know.
No, 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 no. You should. Those are questions that should be brought to the table. So I totally agree with Tracy, and I totally agree with you. There's a
Oh,
lot of
she.
times.
Let me tell you, Tracy on one. You can have the credentials and the letters and the money and be stingy and mean as fuck.
But you should know. But you should know that up front. You gotta ask yourself.
Oh, now
You
see
should know that
now,
up front
now
now.
we talking
You
about
should know
blurred.
that up front
Oh,
now.
now we
Let's talk
talking
about
blurred
it.
lines.
Let's
We're
talk
talking
about it.
blurred. How many times people send in their representatives to get what they want? We
Okay.
talked about this before.
Okay.
Okay, he
Okay.
whining you, he's dining you,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna just say he because some women they do that to their men too. They whine you, they dine you, blah 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 blah, and then sometimes, not all the times, but we're just gonna say for devil advocates purposes, you get married, y'all get married. You have a cute little honeymoon, or sometimes the honeymoon phase ain't even over, and the real them comes out.
Mm.
But all along, you've been seeing them warning signs. But guess what? You was like, dude, he got this, and this. I'm good. I can take whatever he dishing out. And he be mean as shit to you.
But you know what? But at that point, but if a woman that got her own stuff and she ain't thinking about it, she'll say, "Nigga, I don't need this."
Hello, my assistant is coming in. You
She's,
see
"Hey,
her?
boo boo,
You see
hey,
her
girl."
in the mirror.
I see her.
My assistant did my tea right. She know I don't put sugar in my tea. I put creamer in my tea. So that was my assistant.
Yeah. But I
Yeah, but
totally agree. You're right. They could still be stingy as fuck, as Tracy said. Like I said, that's where you go through the thorough assessment before you say I do. That's all.
again, they sending them
They
representatives.
send in representative because everybody talk big until it's time to get on the stage. I've always said that everybody talk
That part.
real big until it's time to get on the stage. And I
So
also
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I just feel like you have to assess every situation because with any parent, you just want to make sure your child is being taken care of. That's all you ask for. If my daughter marries a white guy, a Chinese guy, a Puerto Rican guy, as long as you treat her with respect and dignity and be able to take care of her, I ain't tripping. And I
So
think that's just for every parent. My mother's the same way. Listen, I don't have a problem with you getting married, but I need to make sure that you're going to be taken care of. I need to make sure that that woman's going to look out for you. I ain't mad at that. That's just any parent. You know, I know how I was raised growing up. You know how you was raised growing up, and I know how I wanted to be treated.
yeah.
When I got married or when I made the decision to get married.
Hmm.
You don't know, but
So
life is about taking risks and chances.
so let me ask you this:
Yes, ma'am.
we're in a relationship. We live in the same household.
See, we ain't gonna live in the same household just yet, but that's just me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
we're not gonna do that.
Okay. So we're not in the same household.
We're not in the same household.
Okay. We're not in the same household. But I'm doing widely duty things. Do you think
Okay.
that's cool or not cool? Do you think that she's showing her potential of what she could possibly be as your wife? Or you think, whoa, I don't need you, or I don't want you, or I prefer that you not do these wifely duties because I can't see myself past X amount of years with you,
Well,
or you're moving a little too fast. What do you
that's a
think?
good question. That's a very, very good question.
Because some
Um,
females they do that. They go in and they just give a man they freaking all, and then before you know it, it in the end it looks like he used her when
yeah,
she really gave too much, too fast, too soon.
right, right.
So, what do you think as a man's point of view?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I wouldn't want a woman. My biggest fear, just and this is just me speaking. I never want a woman to say that I used her. That was always my biggest, biggest fear. I don't want no one to say, "Oh man, he just used me. He just got what he wanted to get out of me." You need to know up front as a man if this is somebody you want to be.
Hold on. Sorry.
Oh,
You see my elephant? Hold on.
I
This is.
can't see it because of the glare.
I know. I'm trying to get. Trying to get.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
see it.
Oh,
But anyway,
here we go. My
I see it a little
elephant.
bit. I see it a little bit. But I'm going to answer that question.
Yeah.
Um, Me personally, I don't want anyone to ever say that I use them. That was always my biggest fear coming up. And I just feel like you just have to be honest. If you're going to kick it with anybody and you're going to chill with anybody,
Yeah.
you both need to be on the same page as to where you both want as far as long term goals. You have to think ahead. If you're thinking this way and this person is thinking this way and there's no kind of meeting in the middle, cut it short. Cut it off. It's okay to be friends. It's okay to be cool. But if you know y'all not on the same page, don't force it. Don't treat it like a shoe trying to squeeze into it. Because at the end of the day, it's okay to like someone. It's
Yeah.
okay to want to be with someone. But if you both have goals and aspirations, but they're going in two different directions, you're going to run into a problem.
Okay,
No
so
way.
what if she tries to, how am I trying to say it? What if she coming to America? I watched that movie again, trying to get my mind mentally prepared for part two.
What you talking about?
All
Watch
right.
it.
So remember, Kadeem said, Hakeem said to Imani, "So you do anything I tell you to do?" And she says, "Whatever you like."
Whatever you like.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bark like a dog.
Okay. Bark like a dog. And she started barking. Bark like a big dog. Hop on one leg. So some people, and it's not just always women, but we're gonna, for sake of conversation, we're gonna say women. What if she tries to conform herself to fit your vision of what she thinks that you're looking for in a spouse?
That would work for me.
Say what?
That would work for me. If you're saying if she's willing to work with my vision,
But
but it's
that
my
ain't
job
really
to
who
work
she
with her.
is.
That's
She
not who
just
she is.
that's just
But
her potential.
I want her to feel comfortable in that skin. I want her to feel comfortable in that skin. I don't want her to feel like it's being forced. Because you have every right to do what it is that you want to do, and I have to respect it. And I have to have you have to have every right to respect what it is that I want to do. We just have to be able to meet each other in the middle. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. I'm not. I'm if anything is going to help us grow as a couple, where it puts us both in a winning situation, it shouldn't be a situation where we try to stack, where we try to hold each other back.
Right. Right. Okay.
That's all I'm saying, and I think that's something that just needs to be established up front. I
Yeah.
think we get blinded by the sex, we get blinded by how they look and just little things. But when it comes time to think about long term goals, as far as like business ventures, things that you want to do as a whole, if she's not bagging you up, that's a problem. If he's not bagging you up, that's a problem. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is for our men that's watching. If you got a woman, they got a plan, and she's solid with her plan, and she's really, really strong with it, you'll be a damn fool not to lock that down. Vice versa. Women, every man ain't gonna come out making millions of dollars. Every man ain't gonna come out making all this bread. That's true. But
Yeah.
if you know this guy has the potential to blast off, you'll be a damn fool to let him go. Unless he's just an asshole. Unless he's a guy that's just nasty or whatever. That's a whole different situation. But I don't think you should ever be in a situation where either party should hold each other back from reaching their goals. That's why that conversation needs to be had up front.
Yeah. Because
There's nothing wrong. I think the woman should have goals. I think the man should have goals. And I think you both should support each other in those goals. Because if you both support each other in those goals, you both win. You both go up the ladder.
yeah, Mama Donna said, and Mama Donna, when you hear me say Mama Donna, I'm
That's
talking
my
about
mama.
Erskine's mommy. All right. She said the same thing. Same thing to get that person. You have to do the same thing to keep them. I
That's right.
totally agree with that 1,000,000,000
Yep.
times.
Yep.
But what
Yep.
happens is
I
sometimes
totally agree.
we get comfortable.
Absolutely.
Okay, I say we because there were times during the course of my marriage I got comfortable with certain things. Did it make it right? Absolutely not. And he called me out on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like I called him out on it. But to go back to what Erskine was saying, about seeing yourself as a team or seeing a potential in a person. My ex-husband, let me tell you something. I was active duty and was making more money than him. And anybody that's been in the military know we don't make no damn money. So, but I saw the potential in him.
Yeah.
Okay, when we first got together, and he, even though we've gone through our stuff, he still credits me to helping him become the man that he is in his life. He don't even credit his mom. Not that he doesn't love his mom, but he knows me. I'm very business minded.
Yeah.
I'm always do this, and this. This is how we're gonna get to this goal. So he always credits me for pushing him, past, what he thought his limitations was. But
Right.
you absolutely correct. You have to see a person. We do get caught up
Yeah.
on looks, and we get caught up on what they have in the now.
Yeah.
Sometimes depending on how old you are, and it's normally the young older people, mid-30s and further, we don't start looking at the potential of somebody because we figure, okay, well, this is the potential of them, whatever they need to push forward.
Right.
But it just goes back to when you have somebody to fall back on, when you're not your best, it makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Um, but again, if you got somebody, because we kind of getting off topic a little bit, what position do you play as that girlfriend that sees these things or sees these things in a guy that you want to be with, but you're not really his ideal person? Like, what was I was either on a I think it was last week. I think
Yeah.
Larry said it last week.
Yeah.
Where it was said that I see you as my girlfriend, but I can't see you as my wife. Like, how do you have that conversation with
Yeah.
somebody?
That
Like,
you know.
that's a hard conversation
Well, yeah, and I
to
think that
give
really, really,
to have
I think
somebody.
that is that really is. I think it really, really boils down to the man, and I think that's where it comes down with the conversation. Just because we're dating doesn't mean we're going to get married 5 months later. Just because we're dating doesn't mean we're going to get married a year later. But
Right.
we do need to have some kind of understanding on where this is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping this can go because there's a such thing as girlfriend, boyfriend, there's a such thing as fiance, and there's a such thing as husband and wife. We take our time to get to that point. During that process, that's where we sit down and we discuss goals and hobbies and stuff like that. As a man, you got to ask yourself, first of all, question comes within yourself, do you want to get married? Now, we're
Oh,
men.
you know what? I tell people straight up.
Right, right. That's the thing about it. Do you want to get married? That's I think that's the $1 million question you want to ask me. Now that don't mean I want to get married in 6 months. That doesn't mean I want
Exactly.
to get married in a
Exactly.
year. Right.
But people
But
take
do
it
I
that
see
way.
myself if this is something, if I can see this something as growth and me you being able to grow together, then yes, I consider it. But I ain't telling you I'm marrying you in 6 months. And I ain't telling you I ain't marrying you in a year. For some guys, they can date a girl after 6 months and after a year, and they're like, yes. And
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah.
some guys, it doesn't take that long. For the older guys or the older generation, they can date a woman and say, you know what, this is it for me. I'm good, which is
Preach,
cool.
Mama Donna. I'm about to put Mama Donna on the stage.
Oh,
We need
oh,
to bring her. We need to bring Mama Donna on
I'm
with
scared
this
as hell to do
relationship
that.
because
I'm
that
scared as
is
hell. Well, you
absolutely
know what?
the truth.
I want to give a shout out to my mother. I want to say this to our viewers and my mom that's watching. My mom, and I think she doesn't believe me when I tell her this. My mom did something last year that a lot of women haven't been able to do. They've been waiting to do. My mother dated her husband for 2 years and they got married. Question, they had a beautiful wedding last year. There are some women that have been with their men for 5 years, 10 years, 18 years, and they playing girlfriend and boyfriend. You ladies have to establish upfront with that man, do y'all want to get married? Is marriage in the future?
That needs to be a conversation out the gate.
Now, for the women, I'm going to say this for the women that don't want to get married and don't have no interest in getting married, that's one thing. But for the women that deep down inside they want to get married, and even for the
Or
brothers,
even if they're toying
they're,
with the
they're
idea,
toying with it. Let's at least kick it around. Like I said, it doesn't mean you're going to get married after 6 months.
and it
It
don't
doesn't
mean you're gonna get married to that person.
it doesn't mean you're going to get married after a year to that person. But we need to know your long-term goals. I think the mistake that a lot of people make is that they don't talk about long-term goals. If long-term goals is something to get married, you need to bring that to the table. No one's saying that's
Yeah.
going to happen. But you need to have that discussion. My mom, what like she just put up in like you pulled up in the post, she said every wife is not material. We can talk about that too. We can talk about that too. All men are not husband material. Some folks were meant to just be single. And that is very right, Renee. That is very right. And so when you date a guy that's not that material, or you feel like that's not that material, you keep pushing. Nothing wrong with that. If you know what your long-term goal is, if you know what your long-term goal is to get married and be in a stable relationship with somebody, that guy could be good looking, he could be bow-legged, he could have a pool that
Pause.
hangs
Why
to
he
his
gotta be
feet.
bow legged? That
I,
was
I but women say that though, right? That's I listen. I got a friend of
But the
mine
funny
that,
part is, I ain't heard that since we was in high school.
but you have women that say that. No, no, no. You got women because there's supposed to be a myth behind the bow-leggedness.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm not just that shit. But what I'm saying is,
I see where
if
you
that's not something that you trying to do, keep it. That's always been my thing. I don't think you gotta force a man. I don't think you gotta twist a man's arm. I don't think you gotta put a gun to a man and say, if he wanna be in a relationship, he gonna let you know and you let him know. My mother said, all you think folks nowadays really know and understand what it means to be married? And the answer is
No.
no,
I'm gonna tell you this
no,
straight up and straight down. No, they
no, they
don't.
don't.
And,
Man.
and let, let me tell you what this new marriage is looking like.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm gonna preach on it. So,
This
Rock,
new
talk.
marriage is some
Rock.
bullshit. If you gonna be married here, we're gonna use me and Erskine again. I cannot see myself being married to Erskine, and I'm in the DMV. He's in New York. We got two separate households, separate bank accounts, and all of this other fuckery and foolishness in between. Now, I can see if I'm down here and he's up there, I can retire from my job in 4 years where he's still got to work on his job for a while. That as I'm cleaning this up here and we're still seeing each other at least 3 times, 2 to 3 times a month, because we're that close, then it's doable because the end plan is I'm going to retire from my government job and move to New York. I can see that. But if you're
Or
on
I'm gonna retire from my gig and come to the DMV.
right, that I totally can see that. I can see that part because you're closing up loose ends, but you want to be married just in case something happens. I get that part.
Right.
But when you have these celebrity type so-called celebrity type marriages where she's on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, they both geographical bachelors and bachelorettes. That's the term that we use in the military because we're not in the same city and state. Hell no, y'all ain't never trying to live in the same household.
But see, that's something that you
No,
establish up front. See,
no,
no. See, though, do you think folks nowadays really know and understand what it means to be married? No. For
no.
the people, some people get married nowadays for economic status. That's really, really the primary purpose of why people get married now. It
Right.
used to be a point where people would be in love and you be broke together.
Be broke
People not
together.
you be broke together. People not moving like that now. People get married now for green cards. Let's just speak on it. Let's speak on it. They get married for
Yeah.
green cards. They get married for passport purposes. They get married because the minute the girl tell you she worked for Morgan Stanley, it's like, yes, I love you.
Or you got military
Oh, you got
benefits
military
because they
benefits?
seen the tags on your fucking truck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So people need to really do a full assessment in the relationship of whoever it is that they're dealing with to make sure that if you're going to get married or you're talking about getting married, you're doing it for the right reason. So, yes, I hope that answered your question, Renee. But what if conventional marriage doesn't fit the people, but what they do works?
That's a conversation that has to work for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Again, we're not saying, and I think I can speak for Erskine when I say we're not saying that if you live on two separate sides of the world or whatever, that it's not going to work for you. But we was talking about in the traditional
Yeah,
standpoint
it's not working.
why it would not work. Not
Right.
saying that it wouldn't, but you both have to be in that mindset that we are married. There will be no cheating, or if you decide to have open marriage, I mean that shit is new. you know,
Well, I
whatever
think
works for you, whatever
right,
works for you.
I'm gonna keep it
But
real.
in the traditional sense, no, people
No,
don't understand what it is.
Renee, and I just want to piggyback on Renee's question. If I live in New York and my spouse lives in LA, and
Hmm.
she's making a decision to live in LA, and I'm making a decision to live in New York, we probably should establish what we were doing from the gate. We should have had that conversation from the point. Now, if you're comfortable flying back and forth, burning up sky miles, God bless your sweet soul. But the reality is this: when situations happen, especially with COVID, where you can't jump on the plane when you want
Hello,
to,
look at all
you
those
know,
people that ain't supposed to be together, but they still sneaking
right? And
to
then
be together
you
during
over
COVID
here,
season.
right? You over here in New York, and you over here in LA, or you over here in the Ukraine.
Did you say the Ukraine?
Yeah, I had to say that. My mama know what I'm talking about. Hey, mama.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah. I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Mama, I know you hear me. I know you hear me, mama, but I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But it's true. Those are things that you think about from up front. Now, some people can figure it out and pull
They
it
got
together.
money.
Yeah, they got,
They
money.
got money.
You know, she said, do what. So Tracy said, do what works for you. Some people have been together for years but never officially married.
They got money.
Bledsoe and Darabelle, Golden Hell and Kurt Hunt. To each his own. If that's
Right,
what you
right.
want to
But
do,
I'm but
to each
those
his own.
specific couples that she's
Right.
talking about, they have money.
Well, I don't think they got nothing to do with the money. I don't think they got nothing to do with the money. I'm just saying, if that's what, if your goal is to not get married, that's okay. I think you both have to be on the same page with that. I
Hey,
think,
I know somebody,
I think Tempest and Daryl Bell, obviously, they're on the same page with that.
and
Golden
it's
Heart,
okay. It's
that's
okay
okay.
because they agree that they probably seen some shit growing up to where
Yeah, 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 yeah,
marriages
yeah, yeah.
didn't work.
It's nothing wrong with
So
that.
there's nothing wrong
That's what
with
they
that.
want
We're
to do.
not saying that at all.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with
And
that.
Goldie
If
Hawn
that's
and Kurt Russell, they had been married to previous people before, and it didn't work. So they decided, because I've heard their story too. They decided that they didn't want to work because they felt like if they got married, they wouldn't last together. So I get that part too. But we're talking about the people that sit up here and go down to the chapel because they're going to get married, and then they still
right.
act
That's
like
what I'm talking
they
about.
damn
That's what I'm talking about.
single and out here ready to mingle in these daggone streets, and that next
Right.
thing you
That's
know,
what I'm
they
talking
got
about. Like I
community
said,
dick.
if I go out on a date with you, if I go out on a date with you, and me and you sitting down at the table, and I ask you, would you like to get married one day, or what are your long term goals for getting married? If you tell me no, I don't see myself getting married, okay, I'm not mad at you. However, if I want to get married and I'm thinking about marriage and you're not thinking about that, then I don't know if this is going to work because we're
But
already,
so let me
I
ask
don't
you
know if
this
this is
then.
going to
So
work.
let me ask you this. So we're having a conversation. I'm telling you, because 9 times out of 10 is the woman saying, "I want to get married. You know, eventually I want to get married. Yada yada yada." And the dude is like, "Yeah, but I ain't trying to get married." Do you think sometimes guys tell the women that that's not what they want to do because they don't want to say eventually I want to get married too because she would think that that meant her, or do you think that sometimes they just trying to see where this goes because it might not go past
The second date.
having sex? Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. And I'll go with answer B. I'll go with answer B. I mean, I think for every man, you know if you get married. I don't care what man you are. I don't care what walk of life you've been through. You know whether you want to get married or not. And if you don't want to get married, it's okay. If you do want to get married, that's okay too. But if you do have a goal at some point, do you really, really want to be in your 40s and your 50s, still running around here chasing booty or whatever, whatever? That's up to you if you
You
want
might
to.
not be chasing 40s and I'm chasing 40s. You might not be chasing booty and all of that in your
You might
40s and
not,
50s.
but you just may not want to be married. And that's
And
okay.
that's cool because I know I work with a lot of older men and they say that they've done that, they've been there, they don't want to
Yeah,
do it again.
yeah. And some guys, they don't want to do it. And that's okay. The only thing I'm saying is just make sure you establish that up front.
Yeah.
I think the problem with a lot of people is so much miscommunication because we'll kick it, we'll hang out, we'll play girlfriend and boyfriend, we'll look like girlfriend and boyfriend at events, we'll look like girlfriend and boyfriend going to this
So
or
we're
going
playing the
to that.
part.
We're playing the part.
As
But is it really solid? Is it something really real? We'll even have discussions that girlfriend and boyfriends have, or we'll even have discussions that husband and wives have. You know what I mean? But we really, really not on that page. And that's all I'm saying is that you have to be
and
upfront.
that's miscommunications
And
because I'm
that's
telling you, a lot of times, and again, I'm only speaking in general when I say females, we start having those type conversations, those husband wife type conversations. Female would take off running. Not all of them, but take off running. Oh, he's talking about this because he wants to marry me. When clearly that ain't what he's saying.
right.
He's just talking in general. So I
Right.
think the conversation needs to be held because now you don't know where you fall in this relationship. And hold on, Renee said something else. She said sometimes the hesitancy is to say we want to marry again is based on past relationships and us being unsure. We wish to be in a vulnerable state again.
Okay. No, Renee, and I agree with you. I understand. If you've been married before and you say, listen, I don't ever see myself doing this again, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Or just be honest and say, listen, I ain't saying that I don't want to get married, but we need to see where this goes. What's wrong with that?
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see
That's all I'm saying.
anything
Like some
wrong
guys
with.
will say, like some guys will say, listen, I've been married before, I ain't never doing that again. And I get it. Just like I guess last week, I guess last week,
Yeah.
phenomenal. He gave a phenomenal presentation on
Did you say
getting that
presentation? It was a conversation.
conversation.
We are not in the boardroom today. It is Saturday night.
I'm sorry, thinking about the card. so, so you have some guys that will say, "Listen, I'm never getting married again."
Because he said it.
Yeah, he said it.
And then he married my line sister years later.
But you know what though? I think the one thing he did tell her is that I'm not ruling out ever getting married again. Because he definitely had that conversation. Because if he didn't make
Yeah.
that particular statement, she would have took off running to the hills, or she would have left him alone.
No, because she said it too.
Well, you're right, but you just don't know. That's what I'm saying.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm saying.
purpose
You
of
should
dating.
never rule out stuff when you don't know. Like, unless. I just don't think never say never.
Never say never. I
That's
would
like
never
saying
say
I would never listen. I mean, this is all subject. I would never listen to R. Kelly music again. And then me being me gonna come back and say you're lying. You will
you're
listen to
lying.
R. Kelly music
You're
again.
lying. Because
And
the
it's
man,
like no, bump and grind. I'm not listening to. Step in the Name of Love. I'm not listening to. And there's other songs he did. Yeah, but he wrote for other people that you don't even know that he wrote for. So therefore, that is his music. Don't say you're never going
listen,
to listen to R. Kelly again.
listen. I by any means, do not condone his behavior by
Oh
far.
no, hell no, because let me tell you something.
But
Let's do a
I,
sidebar real quick.
we're gonna do a sidebar. We're gonna do a sidebar. But you cannot say this man did not make great music. You cannot say this man did not write great music. This man wrote music for Michael Jackson.
And stop saying that this man cannot read and write. He can read and write a fucking hit.
Listen,
We got off subject,
I'm sorry, we
but let
can't
me
left
just say this as a parent. As a parent, there will be here neither hell, Hades, or earth, Hades, or hell that would keep my kid away from Robert Sylvester. What's his name? Kelly. Okay, them sorry ass parents that took their daughters, that gave their daughters up, that pimped them daughters.
I fought them.
Hell no.
I fought them 100%.
Hell no.
So
However, comma, he's a musical genius.
yeah, he's a musical genius. You can't take that away.
That's like saying you ain't gonna listen to Michael Jackson music no more.
I don't care what they say about
or Prince.
or Prince. Prince
All right.
walking on high heel post. But anyway, I'm sorry. We're gonna go back. I want to answer. I want to make
Let's go.
sure we answer Renee's question. Did we? Okay. Well, when I first divorced, I said I was done with doing it again. I was good, but now I feel different about it. Not all men are the same.
They're
And
not.
You're right. You're right. You're very
They're
right.
not.
That's why it's so important that when you're dating, or if you're dating, that's a conversation that needs to be had up.
However, before you start dating after the divorce, or when you mentally start separating yourself from your marriage, and you leave the household, or he leaves the household, or she leaves the household, whatever your partner is, y'all are no more. You need to take that time to heal from that baggage. It could have been as simple as we just grew apart and that's just it. Heal from that baggage before you go into stepping into another daggone relationship. Because what no man wants, and no woman either, but no fucking man wants to be compared to the man that you just got finished dealing with. Nobody wants to hear that bullshit.
Right.
Hell, as a woman, I don't even want to hear that bullshit.
Right.
So you have to heal yourself and take that time, and then you need to reflect on that relationship to figure out what you did wrong, what you could do better, and how you could if you have to come across that situation again, how you can handle it differently.
Right.
Because there are things that I could have did within better or differently within the course of my marriage, but at the same time, I knew that the marriage that I was in, that this was not fucking real life. Okay? Like I knew that this was not how marriage was supposed to be. So therefore, when things would happen within the household, I would just tell my children, this is not how marriage is, because I never wanted my children that was witness certain things. I mean, it wasn't volatile or anything, but just sometimes the fussing back and forth or whatever. I wanted them to understand this is not what you really do. And yes, I'm guilty of it. And yes, your dad is guilty of it right now, but this is not a marriage. You have to figure out what you want so you know what you want when you start dating, because guess what? If you don't take care of that stuff, you will attract that shit again, and it might be worse the second time going around.
And Nitra, you said it so excellent. That was perfect the way you said it. The only thing I say to that, Tracy, is I always say do an inventory.
Yes.
Do inventory on yourself.
Self-inventory.
Self-inventory. What I mean by self-inventory is think about the things that you could do differently. Think about the things that you want to accomplish going forward.
Yeah.
Put those things at the forefront. Think about the things that you wish you could accomplish in your previous marriage. Take that time to think about all the things that you want to do to better yourself, whether it's just for you or whether it's for your kids or whatever. That's the purpose of regrouping.
Yes.
We all should do that. You know what I mean? I don't think any person should go from one relationship to the next because you carrying that baggage, you haven't dealt with the heartbreak, and what happens is you are finding yourself bringing that emotional damage from the previous relationship into the current relationship. So you need time for that. You need time for that, and that's just a given. That's just a given. That's just, on the man's side and on the woman's side.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I've always said I think everybody should do an inventory on themselves. Think about the things that you want to do. Think about the goals that you want to have. So when you do start the date and the goals that you set for yourself, if you sit down with someone and they can't really match your goals, then at that point,
then it's time to go.
It's time to go. You'll be able to say no, because if you haven't done that, you'll jump right back into the relationship. It's so easy to fall for someone when you're missing something from your previous relationship, and that person shows you one little inkling of what you always wanted in the previous relationship, you'll jump right at it. Research says it. I've seen it a gazillion times in couples. So that's why it's so important that you do an inventory on yourself. So when you do get back out there on the date, you know exactly what it is that you want. And you should stick to the things that you want. If you have certain goals that you want to do, and then the person that you're rocking with ain't got the same goals and not trying to meet you even halfway on those goals, then you move on. That's okay.
You're right, because out the gate, I told you when I started dating, the man that I'm with, he got to be business minded, because I am business minded. I'm always trying to figure out.
And that's fine. I think we all have been in a space before in life where, we had people we were married to, or we had people we dated, and it didn't work. And then some kind of way, history allows you to, see that person again. If you have certain goals for yourself, it's just not going to work if that person is not on the same page with you. And that's okay. That don't mean we can't be friends. That don't mean we can't be cool. But I cannot put my goals on hold because you got this going on. And you shouldn't have to put your goals on hold because I got something going on. You know what I mean? If I'm the kind of guy that likes to fly from coast to coast and that ain't in your thing, that's okay. That's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. If you're the kind of person that likes to stay at home, and I'm not that kind of person that likes to stay at home, then automatically
That might not work
that's not gonna
because
work.
the one that likes staying at home mad because the other one gone
Of course,
allegedly
and
all the time.
that's when the arguments come about. So that's
You
why I say
always gone,
you
but you
always
always
you
here.
always got it. You ain't time to take that. You gotta go all the time. Whatever.
But
It happens.
hey,
It
my
happens. So,
thing is, I need somebody to be an entrepreneur minded. I need them to push me to my limits.
mhm.
You know, and let's go get this bag. Not saying
Let's go
that
get this
that
back.
that's all my mind is, but let's go get this bag. So
Right.
Renee says her go to is she has not ruled out getting married again. If another soul speaks to mine and then marriage is an option. However, I'm not chasing a ring.
And you should, Renee. You should, Renee. I don't think any woman should chase a ring. I'm just keeping it real. I don't think any
Some of
woman
them do because that's their status.
I get it, but
The
rings
only
doesn't make a
claim to
relationship.
fame.
Yeah, but the ring doesn't make a relationship. You know how many women walk around with rings on and they upset like hell in the marriage, and the guy cheating on them like hell. You get an NBA player, he could drop $20,000 on a ring. $20,000 like $20 to him. You got the ring on, but he out smashing other women.
Or you can be like Jackie Christian, just riding the car behind your man when Doug used to be on the bus with the other teammates and ride behind him from city to city because you don't trust your man, but
Yeah,
you got the ring.
she got the ring. If that's the kind of lifestyle that you want to live, then God bless you. But at the end of the day, I think when people are solid, and I'm not saying you don't have your ups and your downs in your relationship, but when two people are solid and you support each other and you got each other's back wholeheartedly, you don't have to worry about this stuff.
So, do you think it's cool for the man to sit at home and raise the children, and the woman goes out and work?
No, I don't. I think the man should have some kind of contribution. He should bring something to the table. However, hold on, I'm gonna back that statement up. If the woman is comfortable working and the man is staying home and doing all the responsibilities that a woman would normally do with the kids and really, really holding the house down, I can't say nothing about that. If she comes home to a clean house, she comes home and the kids are taken care of, she come home and the house is in order, that's different. And she's comfortable because I don't think nobody would have a problem with that. That's just my honest opinion. If I got to come home and I got to cook and clean and I got to do all the motherly duties that the average mother does when you're dealing with kids, then that's a problem. But if she's working, but she comes home, food is cooked, kids is taken care of, house is clean, ain't nothing wrong with it.
What if he made that decision?
What do you mean if he made like he
Like
made
he
the
said,
decision?
I'm not going to work. You make enough money to pay all the bills in this house. I'm not doing it.
Okay, well you need to take care of the house. You need
But
to
that
take care
but
of the house.
but that's not what you agreed to.
Well, then that's a problem.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no. I
saying.
get you. I got you. No, no, no. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If we didn't agree to that, but you're taking care of home, it's up to the woman at that point. Because see, the problem is not going to come about until the finances start getting crazy.
And the reason I'm asking is we was talking about traditional versus non-traditional
Yeah,
marriages.
I
That's
you know,
very non-traditional.
yeah, that's non-traditional, right? But if, like I said, if the man is at home, he's taking care of the kids, keeping the house clean, food is on the stove when she comes home, I can't. It's nothing wrong with that.
I, I
And to top it off, if the finances are in order,
mhm.
if the finances are in order at the house,
I
she
don't see
should.
nothing wrong with it
I don't see nothing wrong
if
with it.
there's generated money because what if he still has an income coming in and he's just not physically going to work? I don't see what the problem is.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
See, the thing is this. The thing is this. If if you guys have a schedule where she has to work extensive hours, or even she travels, as long as she knows that he's taking care of the kids, he's taking care of the house. When she comes home from her job or comes home from traveling, she walks into a house of peace. And what I mean by peace, the house is in order, the house is clean, the kids are in order, the homework is done. If that man is doing that, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't.
Ain't
Because
nothing.
it might be the fact that he has money coming in. He can still technically take care of everything, and she just wants to work.
Yeah, and that's fine. As long as you guys are able to take care of home, it doesn't matter. I've never got into who makes the most money. It's about being able to take care of your home.
I think
As
it's teamwork.
it's teamwork. It's teamwork. I don't. And I have no problem sharing this with our viewers. When I get paid for my job, my wife does her thing. It goes into one pot. I don't
Yeah.
care what my wife does with money. I don't care at all. As long as it come time for us to be able to do the things that we need to do as a family and
Yeah.
those goals are accomplished, I don't care what you do with the money. I don't care how you flip the money.
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the day, the goal is to take care of what we need to take care of. If we say we want to do certain repairs on the house, we want to do, or we want to take certain trips together. As long as we can do that together, I don't care if I make $20 and you make 100,000 a year. As long as we can put it all together to make those things happen, that
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. I think the mistake that society has made is that the man is supposed to work, he's supposed to make all the money, and he's supposed to run the whole household. But you're right there. But the twist is you have women that are just as powerful, that can make the money, and they can run the households too. The
Shoot, look
bottom
at our
line,
vice president. She made more money than her husband.
and
He.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. I'm gonna tell you something about that.
I
Oh,
just love
but
saying that. Look at our vice president.
come on now. Not even just that.
She,
No, 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 no. Not even just that. Michelle Obama.
she
Obama.
made more than Barack. Yep, she sure did. Matter of
That's
fact,
all
she
I
was
got to
his
say.
trainer and mentor. But I
So
mean,
don't get it twisted.
yeah,
It's as long when you get together as a couple, when you get together and you're married and it's teamwork, the money goes into one bucket because we're all putting it in for us to
yeah.
win together. Nietzsche, if I'm married to you, girl, I don't care what you do with the money. Just make sure the lights is on when I come home. I don't
I
care.
don't like sitting in the dark. I mean, I like a good candle, but
Listen. That's all I ask. Just make sure I got something to eat. That's all. Just make sure my belly got something. That's all I ask. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So when you get into, well, oh, I make the most money, or I mean, I don't care. Just put it all in one pot. Because if we're taking a trip together, we're doing it together. We're doing it together. I was proud to take my wife um, last year, well, 2019, before the world went up in smoke.
that was last year. We don't even count 2020.
We don't count to it. So last year, 2019, we're gonna skip. I took my wife to Aruba, and we had a dinner sunset on the beach, and the lady brought the champagne out, and they looking like, who's that black guy and who's the black girl and who is these folks walking on the beach like that? Because I was on my ditty, and my wife said it made some women look at their husbands like, I need you to tighten up. I need you to tighten up. I need you to straighten up. But what people fail to realize is that my wife and I work together as a team to make that happen. Yes, I put the details of the vacation together. Yes, I'm the one that formatted the vacation, but she was the one behind the closed doors, making sure all the money was still coming in to make sure everything goes up the way it's supposed to go to run the house. But you still got to run your house. You still got to take care of your cars. You still got to do certain things. So what people fail to realize when you're trying to do certain things is all about teamwork. All
Right,
about teamwork. So if the man, to piggyback on that question again, Renee, if the man is at home and he's taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, making sure the house is clean, making sure that the meals are cooked and everything, I ain't tripping. I think that's a good thing. Get out of the tradition. And if she's the one making all the money, but she comes home and feels like a princess and feels like a queen when she walked through the door, you can't be mad at that man.
right.
Can't be mad at that man. And he might only be bringing 20,000 to the table, and she's bringing 100,000 to the table. As long as she's comfortable, as long as she's happy, that's all that matters. If she's at her job busting her ass, and when she comes home and she knows that her home is in order, that house is clean, the kids' his homework is done.
You going hard for this man? These men at work. You don't had a whole 5 minute spiel on a man. you
I'm
are
just
going.
saying.
You are going hard about this, and you keep
I'm just
repeating
saying.
yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my gracious!
I'm
But
just telling the truth.
you're absolutely. I can't do anything but agree with you. You are absolutely correct. I
That's
mean,
all.
it's funny that you kept saying this. I'm like, he is really going hard for these men out here, and
You
that's
got listen,
cool.
listen. Let me tell you something. You got some guys, and the way the world is now, you got these boss women. I salute boss women. I think boss women is a beautiful thing. My wife is a boss, and the whole nine, and I salute it 1,000%. But at the same token, you got to do what works best for you, what works best for you and your family. As long as
Right.
it keeps you both in the position to win and to sit on top, go for it.
So what if your dad? What if her daddy don't like the fact that you sitting at home? Because again, we're going back to where do I fall? What if they don't like the fact that you're sitting
It
at
ain't
home?
about what her daddy think. Her daddy don't live in the house.
It ain't your house. She bought the house because you
That's
don't have a
okay.
job. I
No, no,
mean,
no,
I'm,
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
throwing
no.
stuff out
You're
here.
right,
Just
right, right,
throwing
right.
stuff
You're
out
right.
here.
And you should say that. You're right. You're right. But while she's at work, I'm running this house. While she's at work, I'm taking care of the kids. Your wife, your daughter doesn't come home to an empty belly. Your daughter does not come home and have to do the kids' homework. Your daughter does not come home to a dirty house. So, Daddy, what you got to say about that?
I just had a whole Kevin Hart skit in my head when he said, "But this is my daughter's house." Yeah, but this is my house, and she don't mind when this dick is all up in her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're just telling the truth. You're
Cause
just
you know
telling the
how he be
truth.
like, bam. Oh my gosh. So I mean,
We're just telling the truth because it is true, Nitra.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
it's all
it
about it's all
is.
about you feeling like you're winning in your house. When we have goals, when we have dreams, and we have aspirations, and we're both on the same page, it don't matter as long as we're able to reach those goals and those dreams, and we're both on the same page.
So let's bring the babies involved. What
Let's
if
break
she spends more time with the babies and doing for the babies, taking care of the babies, and neglecting you, or it seems like she's neglecting you?
I'm gonna tell you about that, and I'm gonna share personal experience on that.
Oh, Sabrina
It's
neglected you,
no,
friend.
I
No,
ain't
I'm
gonna
messing
say
with you.
no, no. I wouldn't say she neglected me. I had to get used to the fact that the attention is not on me anymore. That's all. That's all.
Especially when they're little.
When they're little, they're little, and I
Yeah.
think it takes a level of maturity to understand that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with our viewers. I don't know how that would have worked in my 20s. I don't know how that would have worked in my early 20s. But by the time my daughter was born, I'm in my 30s, well, early 30s, and so it wasn't a big deal. My job to make sure she gives me that attention is to get up in the middle of the night and change them diapers, give
Yeah.
those baths, wash those bottles, wash those clothes, do whatever it is I got to do to take that load off of her so she's not so tired from
Yeah.
dealing with those responsibilities. So when she do come to bed and I have a need that need to get met, she's able to meet that need.
But she tired, so she ain't meeting too much of it, or it's
She
gonna be
might
real
not be
half done.
much of it, but she needs some of it.
Hmm.
She needs some of it.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
That's all I'm saying. I just think for all the men, for me, I and like I said, I can't say I would have thought like this in my 20s. I didn't think like this until I got in my 30s. And even in my early 30s, I was like, okay, this is different. This is different. But it's not about you anymore. It's about this life that you and her chose to create together.
Well,
So
sometimes you don't choose it; just sort of like happens.
it happens. It happens. But the bottom line, the minute she go back and tell you she's pregnant, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Bottom line. You ain't gonna be getting no freaky stuff all the
You be like,
time.
"Oh yeah, are you now?"
You know, but that just comes with the territory. So
Yeah.
to make sure I get those needs met, because I'm still human and I still like those needs being met, help you with changing diapers, help you with the baths, help you with the cooking and the cleaning or whatever it is, so it's not all on you.
Right.
But
Right.
why does a woman get tired on average?
It depends on what's going on.
Right. If the woman,
Chasing kids after she come to work and come home and taking them to their activities, having to cook food, and then be a freak in the bed. Girl, I mean,
yeah,
boy, that is tiresome.
that's a lot.
You and while y'all in general got one job and one job only.
So when she's tired, like I said, it takes a mature man to understand this.
It
When she's
does.
tired, you get it and you understand. In your 20s or your early 20s, you don't get it sometimes. And you be like, well, she tripping. And then you go out and get caught up with another female in the street.
She tripping. She ain't gave me no. Like Wendy Williams, old raggedy ass her ex husband. Ooh, now we got to talk about Wendy because it falls in line with this
But you know
lane's
what I want to
positions
say?
and where do I fucking fall?
I watched that. I watched that entire documentary.
I watched it twice, both
Right.
the document,
We gonna drive this on in for the last 10 minutes of our show.
right, and I watched the docu series or whatever the fuck you
Yeah,
want to call it,
I
and
want to.
the documentary and the story,
Yeah,
the actual movie.
sure. I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say this. After watching that, studying that, watching that entire documentary with Wendy Williams, it all starts from the root of the problem.
The mama and the daddy.
They are trash. Her mother and
Ooh,
father
God rest her
trash.
soul. God
They,
rest her
they live.
soul.
They live.
No, no, no. Her mom just passed
Her mama died.
2 weeks ago. Yes, her mom just died.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
rest in peace to her mother. But her mother did not do a good job as a mother. Her father did not do a good job as a father. You do not.
In that aspect, because we don't know the rest of the story. Just that particular piece.
When you start to talk about your child's weight and telling them they need to lose weight and all this and this and that at a young age, when you start to talk about these kind of things, these children, that child had not even that child had not even experienced the full growth of a woman, and you're chastising her, bullying her
Bullying.
at the age of 10, talking about her weight. So because of her self-esteem being so low, she picked up somebody that didn't care what she looked like or how it, whatever it was, and it went from there. So she had low self-esteem. She didn't have the confidence to say, listen, I'm going to date this kind of guy. She was happy to be accepted. The reason why she was happy to be accepted because her mother and her father made her feel less than a person by saying, you need to lose weight. You need to do this and that. You don't do that to your child.
But here's the thing: she was also defiant, also in picking the mate too, because her mom, because she talked about it in another interview, her mom came from a upper echelon family in Jersey. To where they vacationed in Paris, and they did all of this stuff. And her dad had these few businesses. So her mom came from an upper echelon. I don't know about what kind of background her dad had, but that's why Wendy was attracted to thugs.
But you know what?
Because it was against what her parents
I totally agree.
wanted her to marry. But at the same time, like I always say, going back to children have a 50-50 chance. You never see children in the middle. They either just like their parents or the furthest thing from your parents. So what they did also, they broke her, but they didn't break her because the reason I say they did not break her is because that gave her the motivation to be the best. Whatever she set her mind to, she was going to be the best at.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So
yes, totally
she kept saying, if you notice, she kept saying throughout that movie, oh, well, they said this. Well, I'm going to show them. I'm going to do this. She said it with her parents. She said it for Kathy Hughes. She said it for the black dude that she worked for. Everybody that said that she was this and that, and you cannot do this. Her parents. That was how she moved through the course of her life to get to where she wanted to get. That was like her fuel, her motivation. Now, that doesn't work for everybody.
Right, you're right.
You talk about how fat I am. I watch 600 Pound Life every Wednesday, just about. And the first thing you know about them is they about to take a shower. They about to eat all of this damn food. They about to talk about how their childhood scorned them. Somebody sexually assaulted them, or the parents called them names when they was
Yeah.
when they was overweight as a kid. Instead of, hey, let's go exercise. Let's do this. Hey,
Right.
why don't you come over here? Let's go for a walk. You know, things like that. My stepdaughter, she was a little chunky growing up. I mean, she didn't start off that way, but then towards the end of her elementary age, she started getting chunky. But that was no fault of her own. That was because of the medication she was on, because she had asthma. Now her mom would say shit to her, negative stuff. You need to eat salads. You need. She's 10. She ain't thinking about no damn
Well,
salad.
that's what I'm saying, and that's why I fault. I don't think any child at the age of 10. I'm not a doctor. Set the record. I'm not a doctor. But I don't think any child at the age of 10, and
The
correct me if I'm
average
wrong,
kid is not.
they're not thinking about that.
No, they're
Because let
not.
me tell you something. Kids go through puberty
And
at
can thin out.
11, 12, 13, at
And
any
can,
hour. And that little chubby kid that was chubby in July, all they got to do is stretch.
yep,
And they'll be Slim Jim by August.
yep.
We all go through that. So when you start to tell a child that's 10 years old that you need to lose weight, you need to
Or you
diet,
peed in the bed because your bladder was pushed down
no, that's
from all
bullshit.
the weight.
That's
What?
bullshit. That's bullshit.
You probably gave her so many damn anxiety she peed in the damn bed.
Of course she did. Of course she did. And that's what I don't agree. I don't agree with parents that put that kind of pressure on their kids.
No.
Now, if your kid is overweight and it's a serious medical condition, that's one thing. But that kid was not overweight. She was just a big bone, tall young lady, and she stretched the shit out when
Sir,
she
there's no
turned.
such thing as big bones.
Well, I mean, she wasn't an overweight kid. The bottom line is she's 10 years old, and you shouldn't be talking diet to any 10-year-old. You shouldn't. That's just, I don't think that's because kids go through puberty.
And even if you want to talk diet to a kid, you don't talk diet to the kid. You start, excuse me, slowly changing what you bring in the house, and you eat it along with that kid.
Right.
You don't just say, "Oh." It's been plenty of times I say, oh, "Okay, Christian." Now everybody know that Christian, my youngest baby, she's straight up, straight down, no frills, no thrills. She's lean and muscular. Okay, she does cheer. I'll tell her in a minute. Look, I'm not cooking tonight. We eating cereal or oatmeal. And she like, I ain't eating that. I say that. I say that to say, notice I said, we are eating. At no time have I said, Christian, you too fat. You need to do this, or you need to go gain weight. I've never said that to her. Now she didn't always like her size, but this is what I told her. This is what I told my daughter when she would say, "The kids pick on me because they say I'm too skinny, yada 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 yada." Because believe it or not, kids that are super slim, they get picked on just as much as the overweight kids. But I tell them this. I tell you what. When you get out of high school and it's 10 years later and you go back to your class reunion, you might be that same size. And everybody else that calls you skinny is going to be big as a damn house, more than likely. And especially if they start having kids and they don't take care of themselves. Okay? Your skinniness, you can go out here and be a supermodel with the right photography and the right modeling agency. There's a lot of advantages you can do. Ain't nobody looking for size 0 clothes, so your clothes probably stay in the store longer than everybody to wear the same size clothes. Like, there are advantages to being the size that you are. Now, you know what she does now? Mommy, you so short. Because she's 5'8" and I'm 5'5". Yeah, but you can still catch these hands. But going back to Wendy, the relationship, the toxic ass relationship between her and Kevin was that although he had probably a little bit of coins because he was in them streets in New York because he's from the Bronx and he didn't have a job.
He's from
Brooklyn. He didn't have a job. Okay. Nowhere have y'all ever heard that Kevin Hunter had a job ever. You never heard that. Oh, before he got with Wendy, he was working at H&R Block. You never heard none of that shit. So again, this is a street dude. Okay. about Calvin, is he saw the potential in Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
He pushed Wendy. What I don't like about him is he was horrible. He was a serial cheater. He used Wendy, okay? Because Wendy's the money. She's the talent. He used Wendy. He abused Wendy, not physically, but mentally, and he kept her from making money. And I didn't even get that off of watching the whole movie. If you've been a fan of Wendy Williams, like I have for as long as I have, even though she talks shit, okay, you understand there are a lot of things that she couldn't and could not do. That was already out in the streets. She couldn't talk to certain people. She couldn't hang out with certain. Why do you think that when she got separated, she started talking to the Kardashians and to Cardi B and to what's the other girl, Black China, and all of these up and coming people that she would talk about so negatively? Why do you did y'all see the dynamics of the things that she was able to do versus the things that she wasn't doing when he could no longer come in the building when she was separated from him? And you didn't even have to see the movie to see all of that. She just put it in perspective as into where she failed, because again we're still on topic, where she failed in the relationship and the demise of the relationship. Now let me ask you this: could you have been a side piece for 10 years?
No. I had a girl argue with me at the job and said she would stay engaged for 10 years.
Ain't no way.
Hmm?
There's no way between here, Hades, and hell I'm staying engaged to anybody.
I had
The
a
only
young lady.
engaging I'm gonna do for that amount of time is engaged to my job.
I had a young lady tell me. She said we would stay engaged for 10 years until I felt like it was right.
Well, if you didn't feel like it was right, you should have never accepted the proposal. The proposal is only there for you to plan a wedding, and it don't take no year to plan a wedding. You understand what I'm saying?
You know,
It does not take a year to plan a wedding. If you
where
want to get married, you can go right now. Well, it's dark, but tomorrow morning and go get a marriage certificate.
and
Why?
that's true.
Why you ask? Because now they do not require you to have a blood test in certain states. You know, certain states you got to have a blood test to make sure y'all wasn't like cousins and related somehow.
Right. We're gonna hold that thought.
Yeah, but
But this
no,
is
you got to give me before you end. You have to give me your thoughts on Calvin.
my thoughts on Kelvin. You know what?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can't just end it.
you know, to be honest with you, I think he did as far as supporting her through those pregnancies, being by her side. I think he did a great job.
I think that nigga was like, whew, damn, dodge that one.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But you know what? It, it was kind of hard. I don't condemn the cheating. I don't say I can't say that was the right thing for him to do with the cheating. But as far as what we saw in that movie, when she was pregnant, and you think about the miscarriages that this woman had, the misinformation that she got from her doctors, and for her to finally be able to get pregnant, be on bed rest, and he's at her every waking moment. I'm not condoning the cheating, our viewers. I'm not condoning that. But
Man,
the man held his wife down. He did. He did.
bullshit. Let me tell you why it was bullshit.
He did.
He did that, but he didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like the Ike Turner or the average person that
I think he was hard
batters.
tonight.
Hold on. The average person, the man that beat your ass, but then he'll go buy you a gift, or the man that cheats. So to cover up that he's cheating, he does all these special. I think that's what that was. I don't think he was like really into having no damn baby with no Wendy Williams. I
He
just
kept
don't.
knocking her up now. He kept knocking her up now. I can't. I
How
don't
many
know.
people you know keep knocking up people and don't take care of the children? Future is one of them. He's knocking up people left and right. You look at Future too hard, you might become pregnant your damn self.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? I don't. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I do not think that he wanted to have children with her. I don't think so. I think that whole the serving and taking care. I think that was all a fucking cover for his foolishness and his fuckery. That is what I think. But I could be wrong, and you could be right.
I could be. I don't know. The way he was depicted in the movie.
Tracy is
I
on
could,
one.
what Tracy say? I'll pull up Tracy's statement.
It don't take no goddamn 10, 13, 14 years to know if you want to marry somebody. Facts.
I agree, Tracy. I'm with you. I'm with you, Tracy. I'm with
Whoever
you.
does
100.
it is full of shit, and the person who signs up for it and sticks around for it deserves what they get. It
Well,
don't
that
take. Let
person.
me tell you something.
I agree. No, I totally
A
agree. I
woman
totally agree.
knows whether or not she wants to marry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see myself marrying him.
I think every man, when you're dating a woman, for quite some time, you know if you want to marry that woman or not. But for Tracy, I totally agree with you, Tracy. However, the person that told me that, still to this day, and now we're talking 20 years.
Oh hell no!
Wow, okay, I might be exaggerating.
I don't think you exaggerate. It might be 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't think you exaggerate because people they're comfortable like that. And my thing is this: if we get engaged and we're not married by now in a year and a half, because again you might want to have a wedding. Me, I'm not that girl no more. I don't want no damn wedding. That wedding money, we gonna buy a house. We gonna do something. We gonna flip that money somehow, some way. We're not doing that.
I totally agree. I totally agree. But
if our marriage would be a destination ceremony.
Okay.
Okay. And that way, that'll cut off everybody who think they're gonna come to a wedding or to a reception. If you can't get there at the destination ceremony, then you just miss out. I send you a picture, but it's not gonna look. I'm not. But again, that does not mean that we get married. You asked me today. Tomorrow we're gonna get married. That does not mean that either. Now, if you ask me and I say, okay, when do you see us get married? Like, do you have a date in mind? And you tell me, and it's within a year and a half. Let's just say 2. Okay, if I ain't in a rush and you ain't in a rush, cool.
No,
but Tracy, a decade?
Yeah. No. I'm not. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Tracy, someone told me that. Tracy, somebody told me that. I sat in my office and had a flat out verbal altercation, and I explained it. If I got to deal with you for 10 years and I don't know if I want to be married to you, obviously you ain't the one for me.
A decade?
That person told me they'll do 10, they'll do 15 until they feel like it's right. That's what they told me.
No.
It was just a general discussion.
Was this the man that told you 10, 15 years, or this was a woman?
That's what made it easy.
Then she's looking for something that clearly is not there. And he's stuck on stupid for doing. You're just a boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all not even fiancés at this point. Y'all just career boyfriend girlfriend.
Listen, that's a whole nother topic for next week, baby.
I don't have no jewels because I'm done with the 10 years. Oh, I do got a jewel for the night.
You go first, ladies first.
Don't be with nobody for no 10, 15 years talking about you engaged. Hell, if y'all ain't even talking about marriage within 5 years or at the beginning, that shit need to be talked about at the beginning. At the age that I am almost a whole half of a century years old, okay? I'm coming out the gate telling you, I would like to be married again. That don't mean to you per se, but I would like to be married. I'm just putting it out there. Okay? I'm just putting it out there. Y'all don't be with nobody for...
The streets is talking.
You know, probably go through menopause and everything else before that girl get married. Kids been out of high school, college, and
I want to go there. You might be watching.
I don't care. I'm saying it. You crazy, and the dude you with fucking crazy too. But if it works for y'all, who am I to judge?
Yeah, we don't judge. We don't judge. That's one thing we don't. We definitely don't. We definitely don't.
All I can say is Nietzsche ain't doing that shit.
Yeah, Erskine ain't even. I'm a man. I ain't doing that either. I ain't doing that either. But
And as a man, if I was a, I say as a man as if I am a man. But if I'm a man and I ask a woman to marry me and she says yes, and this chick starts prolonging the engagement, I'm calling this shit off. We ain't getting married no more. What happened to Susie? Oh, fuck that bitch.
oh god,
No,
oh
no.
god, we done topped it off tonight. Well,
Let me put myself.
well, well, first of all, we want to always thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We want to thank you guys so much. You guys just don't know how much we appreciate you all for just tuning in, just to have some fun. Big shout out to my mama, Donna Ingram. Big shout out to Tracy. Big shout out to Travis and to all our viewers that check in faithfully every week.
Renee.
Every,
Where's Bruce?
Bruce, I don't want Bruce in Germany. Where Bruce at? I don't know, my man Bruce. But thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you to all of our viewers for checking in. Like I said, this podcast was created just for good conversation. Nature came up with this amazing idea in the middle of 2020 when we was going. Well, we don't even want to say that year, that other place, that other year, whatever you want to
Erskine,
call it.
we almost at a year.
Yeah, we almost had a year. Yes, we almost had a year. So
Yeah.
Nietzsche came up with this phenomenal idea to do a podcast show, just to talk, just to give people something to look forward to. And we thank you all so much for tuning in every Saturday night. It's exciting for us. I hope it's exciting for you all because relationships, life, politics, they all got stretched during that tumult, that terrible year that we call 2020. Everything got stretched. So we appreciate you all for coming to our podcast on Saturday nights just to have some fun, just to have some insights. And we're just very appreciative. We're coming up on a year of our time here doing this podcast, and I thank you all so much for just supporting us. Thank you, Lawrence. I guess last week, Mr. Larry. Thank him so much, and we're very appreciative. Continue to follow us. You can catch our shows on YouTube as well. Continue to stay prayed up. And ladies and gentlemen, never compromise your happiness. If you have goals and you have things in life that you want to accomplish, don't let anyone stop you from accomplishing those goals. You either work together or they jump off the ship. One of the two. Do not neglect your goals. Do not neglect your happiness because we've learned strongly in that 2020 year that all we have is our peace and our happiness, and we do not let anyone interrupt that. So our viewers, please hold on to that. Stay prayed up. If you need to see a therapist, please get you one. Go sit down and talk to somebody. If you don't have a therapist to get to, keep good energy around you, keep good people around you, and keep a place of peace in your heart at all times around you. Okay? So on that note, congratulations to my daughter who's a black belt. Big shout out to my daughter. Nitra, you're muted, baby. You're muted.
It was my phone, and I was gonna do it, but
Oh, okay.
I covered her face up and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, my daughter's a black belt. My daughter, black
So
belt.
that means she can kick Erskine's ass.
So let me tell y'all something. She
Maybe
broke
die afterwards, but
that afterwards. Yeah, she can't do that now. But as far as what she did to a brick cement today, yes, my daughter chopped a brick cement in half. Now I can't wait to go upstairs and see what her hand is talking about now because when you have that adrenaline, you have that adrenaline and you do it, everything's good because you're high, your body don't talk to you till the next day. So we'll see what's
that
up.
is true. All right, people.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
We love you. We'll see you next week. Same time, same bat. Oh, we will not see you
We will
next
not
week
see you next week
because Erskine and his little wrong words. Erskine and his acting job, he will be filming.
Yes. I got
Oh,
it.
and also don't forget on Amazon Prime because this is like my 10th time trying to do this, and I can't get past this one freaking scene, which is the beginning of the movie. Ursula is insomnia. Okay, the first black person you see, which he's the opening black person, he's the opening person. Uh, that is him. Him. Okay. I can't get past. I don't like scary movies. I can't get past. I tried to watch it the other day and send him a recording of me trying to watch it yet again, and I can't. And it was during the daylight. So yeah, and he's out of jail, and we're gonna go because we'll start a whole conversation all the way back up again. Love you all.